Hello, have you ever had a bodily pain that was causing you so much discomfort that you could barely walk or do anything, but did not have health insurance or a part of someone else's health insurance, nor have the available financial money to cover in a medical emergency? Well, in these two different occasions that have happened to me very recently, as y'all can tell, I go to the hospital a lot. I mean, there's supposed to be a lot more, but I've lost some. Um, I have I know it's not a very smart idea to not be a part of a health insurance. Originally, in my workplace, I did have health insurance, but then we changed providers, and then there was a big problem. My provider works for Mexico, or my employer works for Mexico, and they have their own system. And instead of paying a health insurance, they're like, you know what? We'll make our own health insurance. We'll have our own doctors, our own facilities. But since they're mainly working out of Mexico, all of these doctors are Mexican nationals and they don't mainly have visas. And the ones that do are not the ones that we need. They're more the ones that we do need are like the ones that do your annual checkups and dental, right? Um, Aside from that, the what my job also lacks is was like I said, health insurance. Currently, that's what we're lacking, but we're taking it a step at a time. We're taking it a step at a time, and we're we're heading that way. In these last two times that I've had a medical emergency, I had to go to specialists. Specialist being one for my dental and another for just the general ER doctor. And you all know how expensive those bills are for the hospital. I didn't actually go to the main hospital. I went to an emergency room, being that I couldn't wait anymore because I was having really bad back pains. But I'll go back to the dental. What happened there is for some time, I mean, me being a Hispanic and having that culture and mindset, like, no, I'll wait it out because it's just a pain, it's just a minor pain. Well, I waited it out for about, you can say about 2, maybe 3 weeks. It was a minuscule pain in my left side of my tooth that kind of reminded me on the other side that I had the same pain on the right side, but on that time my face got really swollen and like it was really bad. But on the left side it was hurting to where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't chew right, um, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see a specialist. I went to go see a specialist here in Laredo, which charged me $60 just to get me in there and tell me, you know what, your teeth are bad, your teeth are rotting. You have two teeth that are rotting for the same thing on both sides. But funnily enough, I went to Nuevo Laredo to get checked out for the same thing, and I was told that yeah, your teeth are rotting for a lot less, right? I got charged like 500 pesos, which is like $20 to get checked out and do an X-ray, and to get medications also. And over here they just charged me to like, you know what, we're gonna check you, but no medications. But they checked me in Mexico. They told me my teeth are rotting, or my these two teeth are rotting. And on my right side, the infection that I have encapsulated itself, meaning that it was no longer a problem and no longer a threat, but it's still there. But it's not gonna spread. It's not gonna go over to anywhere else, and that I was fine. But on the left side, I had the same infection, but it was also doing the same thing. It was encapsulating itself and not becoming a threat, but at the same time, the doctor recommended, you know what, I'm gonna give you an, anti-infection medication and anti-inflammatory infection, so that way it doesn't like get any worse. And like the only worst thing that can happen is that it goes away. And if worst comes to worst, well, we have to remove those teeth and get implants. In the U.S., for when I was offered to get implants here in the U.S. for my teeth, I was charged 1,200 for an extraction, and to get my tooth rebuilt from the ground up, meaning that I get a screw and then get a tooth placed on top, a crown. It was an additional 3,500. So you're talking about like 4,700 per tooth. And if you go into Mexico, if you have the ability to travel into Mexico, I was being charged 1,200. With that includes an extraction and building my tooth from the ground up and covering every all the expenses. So you're talking about like about a 20% difference from one, or not a 20%, like an 80% difference from one to the other. And on top of that, well, after that got done, I stopped feeling the pain as soon as I went to go see the doctor. Right, it kind of sucked that that happened, but it was money I had to spend. But since I didn't have health insurance, that was money I had to spend out of my pocket and have available. And for the second time, I had a back pain for about, you're talking 3 weeks, maybe four. It was first a small back pain. I was like, you know what? It's not the first time I've had back problems because I played football for some time, and I had hurt my back too, and it felt the same. But I was like, you know what? It's not a big problem. We all sometimes wake up on a bad day and our back hurts. And going forward, I ignored it, and then I wasn't stretching. Also, that didn't help either. Stretching also helps a lot. And well, I waited for about 3 weeks until I went to the hospital or the ER room, and they just told me like, you know what, you got a bad back, my guy. One, you're overweight. Two, you haven't stretched it out, and the muscle that you hurt was because it's the muscle from my hip to my back. I hurt that muscle because in my job, in my line of work, I usually am sitting down. That my muscle was so used to being compressed and sitting down. When I stood up or maybe did a stretch, I overextended it because it was not used to that movement. And so I went, and the doctor just told me that, and I had to get an X-ray done. I had to get a urine test to see maybe if it wasn't kidney stones, and the X-ray was due to the fact that, like, you know what, it could be that you have a crack or a break where bones were broken off and they started healing wrong, or that your spine is misaligned, or you have a compressed back or compressed what do you call it? But yeah, compressed back. And the doctor who treated me, he's like, you know what, like, these are the underlying reasons. You're perfectly fine for everything else. Your body's intact. You don't have nerve damage. You don't have a compressed spine. You don't have any of these other problems. It's just that you stretched wrong one day or you moved wrong one day, and that's about it. I mean, he just told me that, and yeah, I usually have about like more of these, and I've taken them off before. And what I learned from this is basically, whenever you're looking for a job or doing anything that like work wise, always make sure your provider or your employer gives you a health insurance, and a health insurance that accommodates you. And in conclusion to all of this, um, always do your homework. Do get a health insurance that works best for you. Something dental, health, vision, something that you can get annually checked up, which helps a lot. I've learned that the hard way, and I'm still. And right now, I just have to wait till November to get my health insurance, and after that, I mean, I'm gonna be set. I won't have to worry about spending $3,000 or $4,000 visit to the doctor because I don't have a health insurance, and my provider says, you know what, go to Mexico to get checked out. That's what we have all our facilities for. Thank you very much.